We're recording. I don't know where, where's the mic? Can you hear it?
I can hear it.
I don't know about you. I like to tell the truth, but the truth seems to change every Tuesday. When I watch the news, man, it just gives me. No one listens, just on a mission to hear their own voice. It's a wild world, we're all trying to find our place in it. It's a wild world, no one seems to understand it. It's a wild world, but there ain't no way I'm gonna quit it. Love is all I've got to give away. Some folks ain't got $1 to their name, others got their own jet planes. We all have the same blood running through our veins. Whether or not you pray, black or white, straight or gay, you still deserve the love of your neighbor. It's a wild world, we're all trying to find our place in it. It's a wild world, no one seems to understand it. It's a wild world, but there ain't no way I'm gonna quit it. Love is all I've got to give away.
All right. I wanted to start that because I was listening to that song earlier and I was like, oh, it's so good. Love is all I've got to give away. And you know what? Tonight I want to talk about storytelling, because what we do as coaches is share our story. And it's a wild world and it's a crazy world. And there's so many people out there that need help. And we have this amazing opportunity to share our stories. But something that I have actually been convicted about lately, and I have been rebuked even in the past week, that I am not sharing my story for fame. I am not sharing my story for likes. I am not sharing my story to feel good that I posted and that I got popularity. I am not sharing my story because I want 1 million likes. I'm not sharing my story because I want it to go viral. I am sharing my story so that I can speak to my audience. I am sharing my story for you. I'm sharing my story for the people that God has given me to work with and reach. I am sharing my story for that one person out there that can relate to it and needs to hear it and needs the change. So tonight I want to talk about storytelling. But the title of this whole Zoom tonight is, It's Not About You. Because it's really easy. It's really easy to feel frustrated. And when we look and we compare ourselves on social media and we see how many likes somebody else got, and we see what, she put one post up about this and everybody commented, blah, blah, and look at my post. It's so easy to make it about us. And I have been guilty of that. But really, what is the whole purpose of what we're doing as coaches? It's not about us. It's about the people that we had the opportunity to connect with and reach. So tonight I want to work and do a quick workshop on social media and how to post about others and not about ourselves. So how can we make social media posting to speak for your audience and not for you? One way that we can do this, and it's a simple change, and we're going to kind of dig into it tonight, is by simply changing our pronouns. Okay? I, me, we, you, us. We're going to have a simple English grammar, and I'm in the teaching mode lately, girls. No. But really, we're going to talk about how to change our pronouns, because here's the thing. I and me versus you. The difference is when we're just talking about ourselves, people can kind of get a little bit like tune out and just say, well, I'm so happy for you. That's great. I'm so glad all that happened for you. I'm so happy for you. But what we need to do is somehow connect it so that they can see how it relates to them. Because honestly, when it comes down to it, we're all kind of self-centered and we all want to know what's in it for us. I mean, sometimes that's how I post because of what's in it for me, right? And the person that we're posting for, they go on to social media to try and figure out how to get something out of it for them. I mean, we're all selfish creatures. So how about if we change our posting to start giving back and to think that way and to post with more purpose? We need to give just to give. And that's really hard because I haven't hit Success Club this month. So I've been getting a little panicky with my posting. But I took a good long look at my heart today and I reevaluated and I thought, I need to give just to give. I need to give just to give value. I need to give just to entertain. I need to give just to love well. I need to give to encourage and cheer on and connect and help people see that there's hope because of my story, not in spite of me, because I can be selfish in my posting. So let's dig into this. People want to know what is in it for them. And if you simply change some pronouns in your social media posting, you can show them through your story how to do this. Now, you're telling your story, so you have to use I and me. But I'm going to show you how we can do these slight changes, and it changes everything. Now, obviously, in your posting, there's going to be some times where you're really vulnerable and you're just sharing from your heart and you're going to use I and me. And that's okay. I'm not saying never do that, but I'm just saying let's rethink. And let's just go through our social media and rethink how we can relate it back to people. So let me turn my page because this is going to be a hot mess because my notes are a hot mess, but we're going to dig into it. All right. You is audience serving. When you use you are connecting now to the audience and trying to draw them in. When you use I and me, it is self-serving. Which I said before, it's not always bad to be self-serving. Sometimes we can still connect with people that way, but you and me are going, or you is going to connect a little bit more. It's more audience serving. And people, when they hear you switch it up a little and use you, they're going to start to see themselves in your story. And that's what you want. You want people to connect to your story, not just say, oh, good job, I'm so proud of you, way to go. It's really easy to want the way to go. Trust me, I like praise. Like I do. My daughter is the same way. Like I like praise. I was the child that lived for praise, and I still live for the praise and the prizes. But that's self-serving. And we have to think outside of ourselves. And I'm speaking to myself, girls, because this is like, ooh, smack me upside the head. And we need to start being more audience serving and thinking of them. So I'm going to give you some examples. Okay, here's an example of I and me, and then how we can switch it to you. All right, so I'm not even going to give the whole post, but I'm just going to give you an example. I wrote these down. They're very messy, but hopefully it'll just give you an idea. Today, I stepped on the scale. I'm the lowest weight ever. I'm so proud of myself for not giving up, ... Okay, that's I. Now, what happens is if we use that all the time, people are like, okay, good for you. I'm so happy for you. You know, at first they're like, yeah, good job. But then as we go, it starts to get like, oh, here she goes again. And I know people are doing that about me. I know that, but you know, okay, fine, whatever. But what if we changed it just a little bit? The same thing, but say it a little bit more audience serving. Have you ever been so blown away at your own progress? Have you ever worked really hard for something and knocked it out of the park? Today, I weighed in at my lowest. Do you see how like just changing it, and this is an example that someone else had used. I kind of took these from another coach that was sharing some of this, but rather than saying I and me, I am the lowest I've ever been, me, related to them. Have you ever been really excited about the progress you've seen? And maybe they're thinking, oh, no, I haven't. Or, oh, yeah, I've had that little progress before. You know, and then they're kind of a part of it now. And they're celebrating with you a little bit. Here's another example. And you might have seen my post. If you saw it, you'll know. Ha, ha, ha. This morning was so hard. I got no sleep. I was up all night. I'm wicked tired. You know, and the day is hard, but I go on and I tell some positive, okay? It's so great because I've always told my story and then related it to a positive. Like, don't just go, woe is me, but I've been doing it me. Instead, Oh, mamas, I know you are tired. I know those sleepless nights, about those sleepless nights and those early mornings. Oh, today was, and then give an example. Do you see how you're like drawing them in? Oh, mamas, I know how those sleepless, and did you see my post the other day where I said, oh, those nights? Hey, moms out there. And how many of you related to that, right? Because like we're in this together. I don't want it to be just me all night, the only mama who doesn't sleep. I also want to know, like, I'm not alone, and you all want to know you're not alone. So you draw these other people in by saying, oh, those nights, and you're like, yes, I do. Okay, do you see how that brings them into your story, and now they're relating, and then when you come to the conclusion, they're already a part of it with you because they were feeling that way, and you are able to encourage them, and they're like, oh wow, oh man, yeah, I've been tired, but I haven't worked out. Maybe I can. Maybe I can if Danielle could do it, because I felt that way, so maybe I can if she can do it. So those are just some simple examples of just turning your story around a little bit and helping connect to them rather than just, oh, these shorts fit me and I'm so happy. How about, have you ever been at the place where you throw on, this is another post I did, see, I've been practicing, where you throw on your shorts and they're too tight and you're like, what is going on here, right? If you read a post like that, you're going, oh yeah, me, I've been there. And then you see the conclusion of it and you're like, oh man, I can do, if she can do that, yeah, maybe I want to join her. Oh, that's cool. And it's not just, oh, good job, Danielle. It's, oh yeah, maybe I could do that. So you're helping your audience more because you're relating it to them and their story. So those are some examples of I and me and how to switch it over to you and speaking directly to your audience. You are the guide to their story. You are not the hero of their story. You are not the main character of their story. They are. Yes, you are the main character of your story, so you can share that, but you want to be drawing them in as a part of their story, and you want them to relate to your story so they can start their own story. So you are merely a guide trying to get them started, and you are merely trying to connect with them and have them emotionally say, oh, yes, so that you can help them better. All right. I have the you versus we post on my phone because this is how I take notes all over the place. So this is an example of using you and we are typically when people might get more defensive about a post, like rather than saying something like this. Do you often spend, I've seen these posts before. I've probably even written them. Do you often spend $5 on a coffee drink or way too much when you go to Target? You could be taking that money and investing in your health, blah, 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 right? I've seen those posts, but like, whoa, if I read that post, I'd be like, man, she just smacked me upside the head. I don't want to work with her, right? I mean, really, in the end, like, she's got all up in my business. Okay, so, someone's like attacking you right there. And sometimes you can do that when you need to be pointed to someone and say, okay, and I've done this before. Mamas, you need to do this. Your health is worth it. And sometimes we can take that tone if we're coming from a sincere heart. But oftentimes when we're stepping on toesies, people aren't going to like it when we say you and get in their face. So how about this instead? Ladies, does this sound about right? Every morning we go to get our $5 Starbucks coffee, or we take a quick trip to Target, and we end up spending way more than we planned because that seems to be what I do, what we tend, what we tend to do. It's more than we planned, but when it comes to our health, we are so quick to say we don't have the money. So instead of saying you are so quick to say you don't have the money, you're saying we are so quick to say we don't have the money. So we're quick to not take care of ourselves. And then you relate it to your story so that you're a part of it too. You're not just attacking them. Yes, you're trying to say, okay, honey, do you do this? Because really you got to take care of yourself. But you're trying to relate it now to you're a part of it with them. Like, girls, I do this too. So you kind of take them off the defensive that way. And you can do that about, Shakeology. Like there's different posts, spending our money, Shakeology. Those are the type of thing where someone's going to go and get a little bit more defensive, or, I had another post written out. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. Do you feel like your day is filled from sun up to sundown and you can't get your workout in and you're constantly doing this and you're always putting your health on the side burner? Okay, so that's directly aimed at them. How about this? As moms, we feel like everyone needs us, and we feel like we can't take that time for ourselves when really we need to figure it out. Something like that instead. And obviously I didn't come up with perfect posts or anything like that. I was just jotting down ideas as they came to me. But hopefully you get the idea of switching your wording around just a little bit to try and help relate people to your story, as opposed to just throwing yourself in people's faces and they can't relate to it, or just getting right in their business when they want to realize that you've been there or are there. Oh, there's a mosquito. Oh, someone left the window open. Okay, I have more notes. Sorry, a little distracted there for a minute. All right. So I wanted to ask you guys if you had any suggestions or thoughts, or even a post that maybe you had put up earlier and thought, oh, this is how I could rework that. If you don't, that's fine, because it's totally putting you on the spot. But if you do and you'd like to share, you can unmute yourself and share now. So just wave at me if you want to. If nothing comes to your mind, that's totally fine. But I wanted to just see if anybody was like, oh, the wheels are turning, and you thought of a post that maybe you could share with us. Another example. I got it. Sorry. Got that mosquito. Oh, have you ever had a mosquito buzzing around your head and realized how frustrating it is? I sound like a commercial now. All right. Then we're just going to go because I don't see any hands waving at me, except for people laughing at me. No. I have a few more points that I wanted to share about social media. And I just wanted to tie it together at the end and just remind you, we are sharing our story and we need to figure out what our brand is in all this. Because here's the thing. When I talk about your brand, I'm talking about who you are and who you're trying to speak to. Who's that person you're trying to reach? Who's that person you want on your team, your person? Who's that person you really want to help and you can connect to and relate to? Your brand needs to be you and about you and something that's true to you. Because a brand that tries to satisfy everyone will satisfy no one. And it's very easy to try and make everybody happy and try and get everybody to like you. But honestly, you just need to be you and speak to your people. The people that God is going to give you to help, and the people that are going to be true to your brand and your person. I love this quote that I heard, and I thought it was very, very interesting as we're thinking about sharing on social media and helping people. The average businesses sell to external problems. Top performing businesses offer solutions to internal problems. So as we are thinking about the people that we want to reach on social media and trying to be more outward focused and trying to serve well, we need to think about the internal struggles that they're facing, because we, of all people, know that it's not just that they've gained weight. It's not just that they have weight to lose. It's not just that they're struggling with eating too much. There has to be something inside going on. And we're not experts. I mean, some of us on our team have more credentials than the rest, than others of us. But at the same time, we still have something to offer in our experience and our love and our care for people. And even just steering them towards maybe help that will help them better. But we have found solutions for ourselves because we know the problems that we had internally. I was an emotional eater. I am still an emotional eater. I was a binge eater. I will always be a binge eater. But by God's grace and with His help, I'm learning not to be. And I have found tools that have helped me. But the problem is internal. We can't just slap some tools. And this can help us too as we help people in our challenge groups to realize, man, why can't that person just use the stinking container? It's because there's an internal battle going on, and they've got to renew their minds, and they've got to learn and be changed from the inside out. And we have the opportunity as believers to help people with that in a real and tangible way. So I loved that quote. But even when you're speaking in your in your posts. And obviously sometimes you are going to talk about weight loss, because sometimes when we start with the external, we're able to get to the internal. It's the way it works. We want to fix the outside first. It's the way we're wired, unfortunately, but it does give us an opportunity to help people. But think about when you're posting, what are the things and struggles you've overcome or you are overcoming? How can you take that and speak to that with people to relate them to your story and help them start their journey? So speak to that. Speak to their internal struggles. Use your story to do that. These problems that people have always stem from something deeper. I can't think of one reason why someone would be overweight that had nothing to do with something internal. I mean, really, when we get down to it. I mean, yes, having a baby, but in the end, if we are, eventually you will typically lose the baby weight. Sometimes we don't automatically, but if you don't have that internal struggle, you're just going to have motivation to just exercise and eat right. And it's all perfect, but we're all human beings. So we all know that that's not the case. There's always some kind of something to overcome. So help people see how you've overcome and help them to know that they can overcome. The last point I have is just to tie it all in. Don't base your success on just followers and likes. Don't base your success on people commenting. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. I have a ton of followers, but I would say 70% of the people who follow me, like me, are, fangirl, I don't know, whatever. They really don't want anything to do with my core values and purposes. And I'm realizing that more and more. And so I will still speak to them and I will still encourage them and I will cheer them on, but I'm going to look for those few that God has given me to help. And I can't keep looking for the popularity and the likes and, the comments that build me up and miss those people. Those few people that I need to find, and I need to help them because they need help. They don't need just Danielle silliness. They need help, real help. And I know because I have a passion in my soul that I can help them with God's help because He's called me to do that. So yes, we can, it's just like you basing your weight loss journey on the scale. Like obviously the scale is a guide, right? It's a guide, it's a tool, it shows us what to do. But if we based everything on the scale, then we would never ever reach our goals because we would give up, we get frustrated, or we get caught up in that. And the same thing is those likes and the sparkly things, the likes, the comments, the people, the popularity. It's so easy to get caught up in those things. And it's so easy to look around. Well, look at that. How'd she get that following? And oh my goodness, I got a new friend request the other day. Okay. And I went and she was a Plexus ambassador and every post she had, I'm like, what is so interesting about this? Because she had like millions of comments and millions of likes. And honestly, I found her boring. I'm just going to be honest. I'm just being honest. She did not relate to me. I'm not her person. But I was kind of like, well, surely I am more interesting than she is. This is just honesty, okay? This is what I've been going through. And then I was like, no, I have my people that God needs me to find and be open to them, but I need to be serving well. And you know what? Even if it's just a few people, I'm okay with that. I have a challenge group going on right now of people to love and serve. And you know what? I went in there today, and I don't know what you think, Stephanie, but the posts from people and the engagement, it just cheered my heart to know most of these people have not bought one thing from me. Because I let people in with the free trial this time. I did. I do that every once in a while because God has people for me to serve. And I'm going to bring these people onto our team because I'm going to love them with every ounce of my being. And I'm going to help them find their internal solution. And that's my goal. So I just want to encourage you that all of that success and all the popularity, nothing if we're not changing lives. If we're not converting these people over into our tribe, We want them to be a part of our tribe. They need to be drinking the Team Abundant Life Kool-Aid. We don't drink Kool-Aid. How about the Energized? That's good stuff. Oh my goodness. You guys need to come over to my house sometime. We don't have an Energized party because I am a very crazy person then. I should do a live video when I've had Energized. That would be entertaining. Sorry. I'm really tired. Ooh. But another thing too is, woo, I need to stop. Elizabeth's not going to want this recording for her team training. It's just us here. It's just us. But another thing too is, God's given me all of you amazing people to serve. And that's not nothing. That's a pretty large something. And I don't want to lose track of that either, because y'all are my people. So anyway, that is my very crazy but hopefully heartfelt message, that we can love well on social media, that we can serve well, and that we can give well, because there are a lot of people out there to help, and it's easy. It's very easy to get caught up in what we can get out of it. And I feel that I may have hurt a few relationships in this month in my zeal to find challenge-packed people. But God has shown me that I can still love well, and you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So I will just pray that those people will come around and I can still love them well. All right, that's all I got. If you have anything else to add, you can go ahead and unmute. But thank you all for hopping on tonight. I love seeing your faces.
Hey, so I had already wrote my post for tomorrow. I mean, you know, I've been doing this for a while, so I usually don't have trouble, but I'm got to read it to you, and I just rewrote it because of what you said. So here's what I have. Okay, so I originally had, hang on, I have to get on my phone here. Okay, how many times do you spend $40 on things that do not better your health in a month? That's 8 Starbucks drinks, 10 McDonald's value meals, or a pizza dinner for your family. Can't you splurge for your health just this month? Help us keep it clean this month and clean up your diet before we hit the holidays. Are you in? Okay, so now I changed it. Y'all tell me what you think.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Why is it so easy for me to buy 8 Starbucks drinks in a month, or 10 fast food value meals, or buy a pizza dinner for my family? But $40 for my health is a struggle. I'm ready to keep it clean for the weeks leading up to the holidays, and I would love for you to join us. Our next accountability group is going to be the best one yet. How does meal prep recipes, a week of Shakeology, modified half-hour workouts, friends cheering you on, and me as your coach for less than $40 sound?
Ooh, I like it. I need to start working on Clean Week. I forgot that's coming up. Woo! We got to get brains.
Yes. So
everybody go to Christina's page.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna post it tomorrow. Y'all can go over there and steal the picture. So yeah, Amber and I are gonna do that. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the great ideas.
Yeah. So it really helped me a lot, because I've been doing this a long time, and obviously you evolve, because when I first started posting, I mean, let's see, how many of you would have probably have seen my first post? I don't even know. Probably not many of you. They were spammy. It was buy T25 from me, okay? That's how I started coaching. And it's just evolved. But, sometimes we can ask for things, and sometimes we can sell things, and that's okay. Really it is. We're still offering value, but I think that we just need to be balanced in how we approach it. I don't think we need to tiptoe around being a coach, because some people they seem to think that, with this whole curiosity, which I get it, curiosity posting, but then I have people going and buying the things that I was talking about from other people. So I'm I want them to know they can get it from me, and I will help them. So there's a balance, right? You don't want to be too salesy, but at the same time, it's okay to sell people things that are awesome, right? Right. Okay. But just love them well and give no matter what. All right, guys. I gotta go because I'm getting giddy. Oh, heavens. All right. I love you all. I am praying for you all this week. Go out there and change the world. Good night.